Hello, and welcome to North Douglas High School's podcast. While we are workshopping the name, I just wanted to let you in on a little background information on how this all came to be. So, this is my second year teaching at North Douglas High School. It's also my second year teaching in general, as I just started as a teacher. So, 2 years ago, when I joined SHIP here at North Douglas, I was tasked with teaching a video film production class. And while I was learning how to teach a hobby, something that I really enjoyed doing, there were some bumps in the road. But towards the end of the school year, we figured it out. And coming into this school year, I had a unique plan, and I was pretty excited about it. Showed up in the summer for our teacher training and all of that good stuff. And they were like, "Hey, would you like to try podcasting?" And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds really great." Because one of the issues we always had was some people wanted to be in the class, but they didn't want to be on film. And when that's most of your class, it really makes it hard to shoot a quality video and get some different perspectives, different people, and just some variety. So the podcasting adds a great element to the class. It allows people to um, not only be behind the scenes when filming for any update video or project for the video film portion of the class that we do, but it also gives people that would rather be just heard by voice on a podcast, which is really awesome. So it's turned into a video film podcasting production or a multimedia class. And the great thing about this, and I want to start off continue with this, is that I was like, okay, cool. We need some equipment. I applied for a couple grants. I got partial of one, which wasn't enough to get anything other than a mic set, which is what we needed for filming. So I kept trying and nothing came through. And then they asked about the podcast, and I was like, well, honestly, we don't have the good enough equipment. We couldn't record a podcast. So we're kind of out of stuck. And so here we are. The school graciously purchased us a podcasting setup, and the students are figuring it out. So it's student led. I'm editing it together because it's just makes sense. I have to preview it anyway. And so it's student led, it's student ideas. We come up with ideas in class, we workshop them. This first one is more of a Christmas and a recap of what happened from January 2024 to here we are in December 2024. And as we continue on with this podcast, we plan to bring on people, talk about the history of Drain, the ideas that this gets out to the community so they can know what's going on at our school, inside the school, what the happenings are, the warrior updates. And we hope to not only just do the high school, but also bring in what's happening at the elementary school and the clubs and the sports and anything that's just going on here. And so I hope you enjoy this, as the students did a really good job. Maybe a little rough, but that's the first go. So enjoy.
Welcome to the North Douglas High School podcast.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Welcome to the North Douglas Report. You're here with
Xavier.
and Sheena today. We're here to give you some Christmas facts. Did you know that each year 25 to 30 million real Christmas trees are sold in the United States alone? There are about 15,000 Christmas tree farms in the United States, and trees usually grow for between 4 and 15 years before they are sold.
Really?
Really?
That's crazy. But you've never heard of a story when you were in my age? But you want to know something crazy?
Sure, Xavier.
In the Middle Ages, Christmas celebrations were rowdy and a lot like today's Mardi Gras party.
That's funny to think about.
I mean, like, who wouldn't want to party on Christmas?
Yeah. Well, did you hear about when Christmas was canceled?
There's no way. Christmas is right now.
Well, it was canceled from 1659 to 1681, and the celebration of Christmas was outlawed in Boston, and lawbreakers were fined 5 shillings.
5 shillings?
Yeah.
What are those?
That's a good question. We'll come back to that later.
All right.
But Christmas did come back.
Oh, my God.
and it was declared a federal holiday in the United States on June 26th, 1870.
Well, at least it's here now.
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
Well, how does everybody feel about eggnog? I feel like a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it.
I think most of the USA loves it.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah, it's really good with milk, but there's also a backstory about it. Did you know the first eggnog made in the United States was assumed in Captain John Smith's 1607 Safe House settlement?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, would you say that, like, okay, for example, like Rudolph? I feel like reindeer are an important, like, staple in Christmas, you know?
Like, how do you think Santa delivers his present?
Exactly. So, did you know that, like, Rudolph, the most famous reindeer of all, was the product of Robert L. May's imagination in 1939? The copywriter wrote a poem about the reindeer to help lure customers into the Montgomery Ward department store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy to think about.
I wonder how all the other reindeer came.
There's also something else you should know. Construction workers started the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree tradition in 1931. You know what that means?
What?
You have a Christmas tree in your living room.
Oh.
That's just crazy to think about now.
We love Christmas trees over here. But Christmas trees have been sold commercially in the United States since about 1850. That's a long time.
Hey, those people are my great grandma was born. They old.
Yep. You got anything for us, Xavier?
Well, actually, I do. You want to know something about 1979?
Sure.
Well, in 1979, the National Christmas tree was not lighted except for the top ornament. This was done in honor of the American hostages in Iran. That's right, the whole world away.
I think that's pretty cool.
Like, who would it was good at for the Iran people?
Like the Americans in Iran.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, on that sort of topic, Franklin Pierce, you know, the 14th president, he was credited with bringing the Christmas tree tradition to the White House in the early 1850s.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What? You know they're good at still?
Mm.
Starting in 1923, President Calvin Coolidge started the National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony, now held every year on the White House lawn. That means it's present this year.
Which is pretty cool that those traditions have carried on this long.
Exactly. I might actually go visit Washington now. You want to come? Little road trip.
Little road trip. Well, Xavier, you got anything else for us?
Actually, I do. You want to know something about Teddy Roosevelt? He banned the Christmas tree from the White House, possibly for environmental reasons. But his young son snuck a tree into the house anyway.
Good. Somebody's got to keep Christmas alive.
Exactly. So, bravo for that kid.
Let's give him an applaud for that. Yeah. So, Xavier, in your home, do you have a real tree or a fake tree, and which do you prefer?
Well, I have a real tree, and there's only one specific tree I get, and that's Snow Whisper. You
Yeah.
know, I like the way that they look, you know. It's just something about the leaves. They feel different, and you get that Christmas smell when you wake up.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The the best selling Christmas trees are like the Scotch pine, Douglas fir, blue spur, Fraser's fir. So But yeah, I agree with you. Douglas fir is my favorite as well.
Yeah. What else you got for me today?
So I think that we should bring in a special guest for a Christmas story. What do you think, Xavier?
I like that idea. Who we bring in today?
It's a surprise.
Ooh.
We'll be back.
All right.
And she's going to be sharing some of her favorite Christmas traditions. And she's got a surprise for us at the end.
Some of my favorite Christmas traditions are we have really high ceilings in our house, so we always get a really big Christmas tree. I think the biggest one we had was like 21 feet, and it takes my mom like 2 weeks to decorate it. And one year, a couple maybe when I was like 8 years old. So my dad and my grandma have they hate cats. So one year my grandma snuck into the house on Christmas morning and placed a fake cat on top of the Christmas tree. And my brother woke up and he grabbed a BB gun and started shooting at it. And my mom was pretty mad at him. So that's probably my favorite Christmas tradition. Well, not the cat, but the tree.
Awesome. Great to hear it.
And if anybody doesn't know, I'm a professional nose fluter. So here's some of my talent. One sec.
She's got to get prepared, everyone. That was Izzy Duncan with her favorite tradition and her special talent.
See you later.
Okay, welcome to the North Douglas podcast, specifically, basically an extra feature on the show of what we're doing. This is the first real episode, the first time I'm ever recording, the first time I've ever seen this equipment outside from unpacking it, and I am very excited. This is going to be a Christmas story, and yeah. This is a very small high school, if you do not know. This is not a very well-known high school and a not very well-known state, especially considering that this is Oregon. No one really knows us. I mean, no one really knows our bipolar weather like we do. I mean, you can be walking home, get hit with a hail ball the size of your head, and then 5 minutes later, you can be hit with the realization that it's 95 outside, which is almost just as frightening. And yeah, I love Oregon. I do. It's my home state, and this is my home school. I've been going here basically since kindergarten. Oregon's great. I love it. I love it. Really, I do. No place I'd rather be. Especially for Christmas time, something that's coming up. Me personally, Christmas time means scrambling together a list before they buy it and, well, trying not to be too sad when I don't get what I want. I know, I sound like a spoiled brat, but I have a nice, smooth, calming voice. So, you don't really care, do you? I'm joking. But, yeah. And one thing that's always been a staple of Christmas for me and my family, obviously, has been Santa. Something that I'm sure has been a staple for many a family across the world. I mean, think about it. You know, one family that didn't celebrate that celebrated Christmas and not Santa. I mean, you probably did. The world's a pretty big place, and that's where we're sending this episode. But it's like, don't kill my vibe. Anyway, yeah, Santa and Christmas go together just hand in hand. More so, I have a fun fact, and that's that's to do with Santa himself, the fairy tale, basically. Not everyone gives him cookies on Christmas. Sure, a lot of people do, but that's only in America, really. and not even in all 50 states. A lot of the times it's different. Like for instance, I think Alaska is some sort of meat, and Hawaii, I'm pretty sure, is pineapple. One of my favorites that I've learned about in my travels across the world is that I'm pretty sure it's in Norway or Germany, probably Germany, knowing them, that instead of cookies, they give beer to Santa. Now, that may sound crazy, because in all honesty it is, in my opinion at least, but hey, who am I to judge other people's cultures when I don't have any, right? Anyway, I mean, yeah, that's just a little fun fact about Christmas, and it shows how differently it's celebrated around the world that you probably didn't know that. Meanwhile, most kids in either Norway or Germany, whichever country, probably know that by heart and are taught it at a very young age. Yeah, that's it for the special feature.
Welcome back. We're going to be finishing this off with the North Douglas High School 2024 year recap. This last year, we had 16 graduates with $15,000 in scholarships, and I believe we've had some new faces here at North Douglas.
Oh, trust me, we do. You want to know the names?
Let's hear it.
We got 2 new office ladies. They are wonderful. Their names are Shannon and Chanel. Then we have a wonderful special ed teacher, and her name is Miss Beard.
We also have a new counselor here at North Douglas High School, Bella Mass, and she's amazing. It's been great having them. Let's hit the recap with sports. The girls and boys basketball team both went to state, and the football team set a new record going to state this year when they haven't been since 1952. We've had a great year here at North Douglas High School. This holiday season here at North Douglas, we've had a food drive and a Christmas for Kids donation. This year, we've helped 30 families with our food drive donations and 30 families and roughly 42 kids with our Christmas presents. Merry Christmas. And we hope to see you again next year.